You're listening to the Claret and Big Blue podcast on the Pass the Gravy Podcast Network.
Goat's vagina. That thing is huge. You said that, not me. Take it away by Wicksley TV. Oh, it's glorious. What? We just become best friends? Yep. Give me a hell yeah.
And we are live.
We'll do it live.
Welcome everyone to Claret and Big Blue, probably the only podcast on the internet dedicated to West Ham United and the New York Giants. That's right. Football and football. Bulls. For everyone's taste, I am Mike Fish and I'm joined as always by Mr. Alex Middleton. Alex, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm well. That was a good energetic intro. How did you like it?
I thought so.
We've had a hell of a week.
It's been a pretty good one, though. It's been a pretty good one.
Do you know what? I'm super excited because today is the first time in a long time that we actually have something hearty to talk about Giants-wise this week.
Yeah,
finally.
Draft. We're going to do some draft grades because, spoiler alert, I love all of the Giants draft picks and I hate everybody else's draft picks.
Yeah, spoiler alert. We won free agency. We've got that trophy. I think we may have won draft as well.
I would say we also won the draft. So clean sweep of the offseason for the Giants. We're going to keep on chug-a-lugging into probably a Super Bowl run.
Before we get into that, obviously, what other than, watching our beloved Giants and West Ham just crush life, what's the world of Alex Middleton been like in the last week? Anything exciting? Anything exciting adventures?
Nothing crazy, man. Nothing too crazy.
I'm relying on you, Alex.
Saw some live music on Saturday up at my favorite brewery here in town, Southern Star Brewing Company. That was kind of cool. It was the first time I saw live music really since the pandemic, so I enjoyed that.
Not only did you see the live music, but you introduced the live music.
I did MC it a little bit. I mean, MCing is not really a lot. It's just saying, hey, this is this band. Here's this band. Here's an announcement.
When you walked back on the stage, did you do the, hey, give it up one more time for this band?
I actually didn't, but I have done that before. When we used to host like private performances for my job, for the morning show, like if people would come in, if we'd get the hosting duty for it, they'd do like songs and then there'd be just an audience of like 20, 30 people. And you'd be all right, let's put your hands together again. Woohoo! All right, we're going to do some questions.
The big applause sign.
Yeah, but it's like sometimes you'd have to go out and like the hardest part is just like filling because you don't know if the band's about to walk out right behind you. But usually you just have to like hype people up. You want them to clap while the band's walking out. And like sometimes the band like doesn't walk out then, and you're like, all right, guys, we're getting ready. Like, let's go, Mike's band. And then like your band is just like, hey, we're just gonna kind of chill for a second. And like 2 minutes later, you come out, then I have to like kind of fill. And so that's kind of the only like awkward part of it, but it's not that bad. In the grand scheme of things, I'm like you just kind of talk to people. I can talk to people pretty well.
How's your Seinfeld impression? That's what I feel you need to do.
What's the deal with?
They're not ready. What's the deal with craft beer these days?
Why do you drive in a parkway and park in a driveway?
Although that's where you can just start promote. Hey, coming soon. Got this sweet new beer. You should check it out.
That's true, darling, like a Marlin. Coming out May 29th, Southern Star Brewing Company.
Buy your shirt, passthegravymerch.com.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't say the beer's name. It is the name of the beer, but it's not for the beer specifically, but it works perfectly for the beer.
It does. So, yeah, is that it?
Yeah.
You're
in
Texas.
You?
You're in Texas. Everything's open in Texas. I'm relying on you. I'm to live vicariously through you to excite my life.
It's like we did some brunch on on Sunday with the fam. That was pretty cool. And my mom announced that she's going to retire after 41 years teaching. So like that was pretty sick. So we went out and celebrated a little bit. But like it's funny seeing how like the masks are now, where it's like I almost forget, like walking in, I wear it. Then usually you get to the table, you take it off. But now people are just like, I'm not walking in with it. Like I like it. I'm not mad or upset about it or anything like that. It's like I think people are getting vaccinated. I think people are being like we're just opening up, man. Like that's how you got to do it.
I mean, as long as you stay away from. I think just keep the same rules.
Just don't go out if you're sick. If you're sick, just don't go out.
Yeah, just keep the same rules pre-pandemic. Just don't talk to dirty-looking people, and you're good.
But see, like that kind of like I feel like it's gonna be in a weird way, like it's almost gonna be like more discriminatory now than like before the pandemic, because people will be like, you kind of had to talk to the homeless guy because it's like you don't look like a dick. Just be like, get away from me. I mean, you could, but now it's like you can be like, no, COVID. Like people are gonna have that as like an excuse in their back pocket. Like, that guy kind of looked dirty.
He looks kind of COVID-y.
Who knows? Who knows what this guy's been up to? He's not in my circle.
He's probably got 19 and 20. It's that bad he looks.
Maybe 21. Who knows?
It's a new year. Who cares?
So how much is it open up there? Is it like open?
It's soon.
Like you can go places.
You can. So you can. I can go to like bars and restaurants and things like that. I'm just still kind of. Even though I'm vaccinated, I'm fully vaccinated, so I don't know why, but I'm still kind of, I'll just sit outside where it's airy.
Yeah.
But I think end of this month, I think I want to say May 19th or May 21st, I think it's going to be just fully open again, New Jersey. Because I think we've like pretty much, because not to get too sciencey and too technical, because obviously.
We're big scientists here on this show.
Big science guys, but I think
big science show.
Apparently they say like herd immunity. Is that the right term?
Mm-hmm.
They want to be to around at least 70% vaccinated, and I think New Jersey's pretty close to hitting that number. So yeah, we're hopefully over the hump.
That's good.
So, yeah, I just want to sit at the bar and talk shit to a barman. You know what I mean? You know that old small talk you have with the barman. I missed that. I haven't done that for a while.
That's what the guys at Southern Star are like. They're awesome. I just get to talk shit with them.
I look forward to the day that I can promote a local brewery, but until they pay me money, I'm not going to bother. Make it worth my time.
Right. Maybe you should come down to Southern Star and you could try that. It is open here.
Well, I was planning a trip down to Houston, but then your boss did not pick me to win those tickets today for BuzzFest. So
if at first you don't succeed, try again. Although I think it may have seemed like a conflict of interest. If the person I do a podcast with won an award.
Maybe. Yeah, I was going to put in my entry, hey, I know a guy, but then, okay, that's going to make it even worse.
It's going to make it, I don't want to get in trouble for it.
But anyway, speaking of, before we dive into the meat and potatoes, as they say, do they say meat and potatoes here? When you're talking about
I know what it means.
Okay. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of our show, I do want to give a shout out, though, to Rod Ryan. I mean, I'm sure he wasn't the one that discovered this. I'm sure the manufacturers came up with this. But I was today years old when I realized that the ceiling fan goes one way, but if you want it to go the other way, you can do that easily. I did not know that.
I've done that for a couple months, but I've never once done it.
It's changed my world because apparently we've had it in our house, winter setting forever.
Well, to me, that's what a fan does, though. Keeps things cool.
No. We had it in the winter setting, so it was trying to warm up.
That's why I want it. I want it to cool stuff down. I don't ever want to use a fan to warm up, and I get that that's what you can do, but it's I still want it cold as shit when I go to sleep.
No, that's what I'm saying. We've had it on the wrong setting, basically. We've had it on the circulate the warm air setting, so now I switched it to the cold air setting. And it's changed out.
Oh, that's what you said, winter setting. I guess that makes sense. I'm just dumb.
Yeah, but I feel pretty dumb because I was I'd say everyone I spoke to, the few people I spoke to, were yeah, we knew that.
It's one of those things where it's you just don't really do it enough.
Oh,
Did you
now
know
I
you gotta
will.
change smoke alarm batteries?
Not until they annoy me. Maybe
Right, exactly.
But I think this should be. I think this is more important than daylight savings. Like this should be a thing. Like, hey, don't forget to change your
Change
fan
your
directions
fans over.
this
That
Saturday at
actually
2
might
a.m.
not be a bad idea.
That should be. Maybe that's gonna be my thing.
Good thing
Daylight savings.
you start being that guy.
Daylight savings. I'm going
Like,
to
hey,
change my clock.
Mike's looking out.
Change the clock and change the fan direction.
Exactly. I think it's a good idea. I like that a lot.
Another thing that's been talked about a lot. I'm going to start talking about sports now, though. Aaron. Have you heard about Aaron Rodgers? Apparently he's had it up to here.
Paradise.
So what kind of the back? Because did he not say or at least allude to him retiring anyway? And did they kind of try to get him back? And then he was like, "I'll come back." Actually, no, I don't want to come back. Like, what?
I'm not really sure, man. Just like it says, like reports, Aaron Rodgers wants out, and I feel like everybody hates Jordan Love now, even though Jordan Love did absolutely nothing. And just wow, Aaron Rodgers, what are you doing, bro? You like who wants it? Like, you're not going to trade an MVP quarterback. So that's why I feel like there are all of these like rumors. I just don't see any truth to any of them.
What? And the one I saw where it was reports are that Aaron Rodgers said to a friend, like, who is getting these reports? That apparently he will be interested in going to the Raiders, the Giants, or the Broncos. No, who was the other one? There was
Broncos?
3 teams.
I don't know. See, I don't even read that much into it because he's going to be a Packer next year, in my eyes. I do like my friend Pat that I do a Pass the Gravy podcast with is a diehard Packers fan, and I've been kind of trolling him a little bit, so that's been kind of fun. But other than that, like, I don't really think he's going anywhere.
Yeah, I saw he kind of ruined his draft day for him.
Yeah, but like he's gonna be fine. He's gonna play for him next year. Like you can't draft a backup quarterback. That'd have been like if Eli was still on the Giants, and like I was like, I can't believe they're gonna move on from him. It's like they obviously just drafted your replacement.
Because Aaron Rodgers is what, like 56 at this point?
I don't know, but he hasn't won as many rings as Eli, so he's like technically not as good. So if Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer, you gotta say Eli is too.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers.
He's probably like
37. 37?
Yeah, he's closer to 40.
He looks terrible for 30. I mean, I look terrible for 35, but he looks
I
terrible for
don't
37.
know.
Maybe
He's lived in Wisconsin. He's been like a wilderness guy for a long time.
But let's just play devil's advocate. Let's just pretend that the rumors are true, and let's just say that Dave Gettleman picks up the phone, calls
David Getz,
picks up the phone, calls Aaron Rodgers, and go, "Hey, do you want to come play for the Giants?" And Aaron Rodgers is like, "Yeah, I do." How would you react to that?
I mean, are you gonna be upset if an MVP comes to your team? I don't think anybody's gonna be upset. But obviously, we'd give up Daniel. I love him. I love Daniel. So I'd be a little sad to see him go. But yeah, like, is anybody gonna say no to Aaron Rodgers? Any team in the league right now, the reigning MVP? Like, yeah, I'm good. Maybe Pat Mahomes.
It would just ruin our merchandise because.
Yeah, we just put all that in, so it's like, no, I
Sweet.
don't want him to go anywhere. Especially, I wouldn't actually. I don't know if he comes to the Giants, whatever, but he's not going to.
And then when I thought about it, I was like, if let's just say it did happen, it won't. But let's just say it did happen. It's something that I wouldn't be upset about it, but I don't think I'd be like jumping up and down, like, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, because it's realistically what has he got? Maybe 1, maybe 2 years left.
I would say about 3, but like, yeah, at the top of his game, who knows?
It's a very
He's getting to that point where people do start to decline.
So I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be sad, but I wouldn't be over the moon. Because, yeah, I think it's a very short-term mentality. But also, I just
don't think it's realistic, really. And so it's like that's why I'm not even really like trying to like concern myself with that. I get we're respecting the exercise on this. I'm not trying to just be an asshole and trying to shoot your point down or your argument down. I just like that. Like people have been like, "What if he goes to the Giants?" Especially when that happened, when that rumor happened, and I was like, "He's not going to." Like we just built everything around Danny. Yeah, obviously Aaron Rodgers is an upgrade from Danny right now, but I mean, I expect Aaron to win a lot of Super Bowls, but Aaron only has one so far. So you tell me who's going to end up being better. I don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
There's a lot of time for Danny to do stuff.
Like, how long? Because here's a good statistic.
He's been there 16 years now.
So Aaron Rodgers has been at Green Bay.
I feel like.
Oh, you just made that up?
Or I think it's been 16 years. I don't know. It feels 16-y.
So he got drafted round 1, 2005. So yeah, 16 years.
Fucking nailed it.
16 years, and he's only managed one more Super Bowl than Daniel Jones.
But you know how many years Brett Favre played?
12.
Around 16. I don't know.
All right. I'm not Googling that.
Look how many years Brett Favre played. Look it up. Do it.
Why is he also talking about coming to the Giants?
Is it 16? Because if it's 16 years, then that's a nice little thing you could start going. Like, well, all Packers quarterbacks only play 16 years, and then,
Brett Favre drafted in 1991.
But when did he go to the Jets?
He went to the Jets in 2008. But he got drafted by the Falcons.
Falcons, then he went to Green Bay.
For 15 years.
Okay, so never mind.
So you've overstayed your welcome, AA Ron.
Well, close. I was really trying. Yeah, it's seeming like, what is he, washed up? The MVP, washed up, maybe? I don't know. That's a bold take.
We'll take it, though.
It's either I'll take it or Skip's going to take it. So
get those
might as well be me to get those clicks.
Get those views. But realistically, I think we're all going to go gung-ho onto the Daniel Jones train, and then seamlessly we're going to now transition into the 2021 NFL Draft. How impressed were you with night one, first and foremost?
Like again, let's walk back and talk about like we said last week, where we were both kind of on the same page. Is like, I don't care who we go with, just get somebody that's gonna do something good for our team. You know, like that. Right. Like I didn't have anybody I was hoping we get. I said if I had to pick anybody, I would have liked Micah Parsons, which now fuck Micah Parsons. He's on the Cowboys. I don't like that at all. So screw him. He's gonna be a bust. But yeah, like what it looked like, it seemed like they were circling in on Devin Smith, at least according to the draft coverage that I was watching. And I was like again, my take from last week was just like, oh yeah, I'm not going to be, or Devontae Smith, excuse me. It was like Devontae Smith on the Giants would not have upset me. Any of those receivers on the Giants would not have upset me. Were there other areas we could address? That's cool. Whatever. Kadarius Toney, I think he was in my list of 97 people that I mentioned. And yeah, he along with a lot of other people. So hit that guarantee right on the head. But he was obviously not as valued by a lot of other teams as much as Devontae Smith. So the Eagles move up one pick ahead. They take him. Kind of weird that the Cowboys gave up that, just because like you're going to have to play him in the division regardless. They must not at all be worried about the Eagles. But they're going to get dunked on hard if Devontae Smith has just like some sick games against the Cowboys, which looking at Devontae Smith, you're going to guess that's going to happen at least once. So
based on last season's performance and what they've done postseason,
they did draft a lot of corners. They did draft a lot of corners, though. I really don't like the Cowboys, but I think they had a solid draft, and I hate that. Let's not repeat it, but
I'm at that point, though. What I'm saying is that I mean, retrospectively, yes, they did.
They struggled at stopping the pass.
But at the time, you're kind of like
another guy to make it harder to stop the pass.
But at the time, you're like, why would you, in theory, help the Eagles?
Well, I guess like they're gonna get something in return for it. So they got picks in return for the Eagles drafting Smith. So they thought that was worth it in the long run. And it was going to go to a division rival regardless. So maybe that was their thinking. Either way, I was just kind of surprised. I know they've traded before and that I think the Eagles traded back from to the Cowboys, but I know they've done it before. It's just interesting whenever you see like a division trade like that. But after that, like I didn't know who we were gonna get. Like Micah Parsons went a couple picks later than that, and I think that the Giants could have definitely had Micah Parsons, but maybe that's not who they wanted. And then it looked like they got a couple other guys later on in the draft that were pretty solid, but waiting to get Kadarius Toney, like picking up an extra first-round pick next year. I can't even think about who else. They picked up a fourth-round pick, a fifth-round pick next year.
Yeah, well, I'll bring it up on the graph. But before I did love a couple of things. One is I loved how pretty much everyone on Giants Twitter was like, bring on Devontae Smith. And as soon as he drafted to the Eagles, like, fuck that, chicken legs. He's too skinny. He's going to die in the NFL.
That as well, yeah.
That was funny. But I was actually very impressed with the fact that when last minute, we was pretty all shocked that, oh shit, we thought he was next and we can get Devontae Smith. Oh shit, the Eagles are now picking for us and they took him. Oh shit, we're on the clock. Oh shit. That the Giants didn't panic pick. They didn't go, oh, fuck, who are we going to pick?
That would have been an easy time to do that.
But they took their time, thought smart about it, and traded down, which I actually quite liked because, yeah, let's bring up that list of picks.
Well, on that, like, I feel like you're seeing the influence that Joe Judge has where people, and I mean, we can't judge this draft class yet. You know, they haven't played. But on paper, I feel like these guys are pretty solid dudes. Like Azeez Ojulari, he's a badass. And I think like maybe he's going to be like they thought like we can get Ojulari in the second round. Why do we need to reach for Parsons? We can trade back and get somebody we still think is of decent value. And like Ellerson Smith, I mean, I didn't study a ton of film on him, but all the highlights I watched of him looks like a fucking playmaker. You got Brightwell that kind of looks like he could be the new like fill in for Gallman. I think that Joe Judge and Gettleman together may be really good at drafting. They had a solid class last year. I'm hoping this turns out to be a similar type class this year. And if they do, like that's two positive draft classes. You have to have a couple of draft classes like that, as well as some free agent signings that go well for a team to take a step from where the Giants were to where we're hoping to be. And I think that if this pans out, like we're in a really good spot. We were in a really good spot going into the offseason. And I think we're in a really like even better spot right now. Like we're probably not going to win a Super Bowl next year. I don't expect one. I mean, it'd be sick if we did. I don't expect one though. But like, I expect us to take another like a leap forward. And I think Joe Judge is putting that. The culture's established. I think Joe Judge is going to push forward the talent like he already has. We spent the money. We've got a bit of a window, you know. So like, I think that I like where the Giants are going. I like that the issues that they address. Yes, the offensive line is something that they could have addressed. But what I don't think a lot of people realize is that we did get these draft picks from the Bears. And it's very possible that, like, you know, if the offensive line's not working in the beginning of the season, we could trade somebody or trade to get an offensive lineman to come help. Hopefully we don't have to resort to that and it works out. But like, I think that these guys just trust our offensive line. And we've seen from the last year's draft class that sometimes the people that are like hired by football teams to run a football team know a little bit more about it than the guy on Twitter.
It's a good take. But yeah, I think that with the picks, I think it's kind of an insight of how Joe Judge kind of views where he wants to go with the Giants. Because even though we picked up, obviously, Toney, wide receiver, then picked up, who was it?
Dude, Toney's going to be a beast.
Gary Brightwell, running back. But pretty much the entire class is very defensive heavy.
Our defense was pretty good last year, too.
Defense was very good last year. So I think I think his mindset is maybe, hey, if we can make that even stronger and really shut people out, then with these few extra offensive tools, like we've got, Toney, we got Golladay, then obviously Barkley's coming back. It could be a very exciting year, and obviously with next year's pick, if we hope that Chicago do very, very bad, you know,
they do have a tough schedule.
Could you imagine if, I mean, we're not going to, but if we won the Super Bowl and then they did really bad and we be the Super Bowl champions, you get the first pick overall, that'd be pretty sick.
That would be pretty sick. That would be really sick. That's what I'm hoping for, actually. So,
but like, not only with this draft, it's made me look forward to the season even more because now I have two things to look forward to. Because now I'm going to be
rooting against the Bears,
rooting for the Giants, and then watching every
Right.
Bears game, hoping they lose. It's going to be great.
No, I like that. Yeah.
So with that, I mean, obviously without looking over the overall class of every other teams, but after the draft happened, are you about the same, or are you kind of more optimistic about this season?
Dude, I'm more optimistic, man. Like I don't, and again, I'm not gonna tear apart draft people, like draft guys that I don't know all about them. You know, like I've watched YouTube highlights of them. I've seen what I saw on the draft coverage. I read up about these guys. I like everything I read up about them, but obviously people are gonna spin it in a positive light in a lot of ways. I really think though that like Ojulari is gonna be a fucking stud with Martinez there in the middle of that linebacking core. I think that, like we just shored up. We already have two solid corners, and we just added two more guys that look like they've got a ton of potential to be some beasts. Dude, how can you not be more excited? Like, oh no, we have too many good corners. Wow, now nobody can pass on us. And nickel coverage, like we can have 6 DBs back there and be okay. And then we've still got Peppers. We've still got everybody. We've got McKinney. Like we're stacked in our defensive backfield. If we can stuff the run, I think teams are going to be kind of screwed when they play us.
Do you know my favorite part of the draft? Did you watch like all of the draft on TV?
I had it on.
My favorite part of the draft was day 3.
I didn't watch all day 3.
Oh, day 3 is my favorite thing to watch. Because then when you get to, like, the guy comes out with the card and, with the 300th and 17th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons take Jimmy Jimmerson, and then they cut to the fans in the crowd and they're like, Is he good?
Like,
I don't know.
It was day 3 of the draft. Like it is the only day that's on Saturday. But yeah, that is weird. Because I like the way that the old format used to be, where it was like Saturday was the whole, like, you got 1 through 3 and then 4 through 7 on Sunday. I think it'd be cool to kind of do like a Friday night thing, but it's weird that it's just like boom, like it should go through like a Saturday, Sunday, so they can if they're gonna sell it in each city, like you can have a full weekend with it. But I don't know.
Yeah, you almost I don't care
sad after a while, so I probably wouldn't tune into the Sunday anyways. But
the only reason I tuned in was to watch the awkward crowd. It's like the same thing with the Oscars or any award show.
And all the guys that are like
crowd.
there, the super fan dudes had to like pretend, like the Bolt guy for the Chargers has to be like, yeah, woo, South Carolina State offensive tackle. I knew about him. I love him. Yeah, great.
I've been waiting 3 days for his name.
Yeah, sometimes they'll like turn to the camera like, great pick. Great pick. Well, like Macho Man Cowboys guy kept saying that. I saw he said that 2 times at least that I saw it. It was like, quit showing this dude. Actually, no, he had a good costume and stuff.
They'll probably hardly ever play a game this year. But good for them. Good for them.
So yeah, it's draft talk. I feel pretty happy about it. I'm very optimistic with this season. If you're asking me for my honest grade, it's an A+. Just because I'm going to say it's my grade, because I'm going to say it's an A+ anyways, because that's my team. I actually think I did tweet this out on Friday, my first round draft grades for every team. And it was F's for everybody else and an A+ for the Giants. So that's what I think.
Should give the Eagles F-.
What if they win the Super Bowl next year? And then I'm like, remember my draft grades, everybody. Remember my draft grades. Sometimes the draft matters.
Well, I don't know how it works out, but someone tweeted out like the ease of the schedule. Apparently, we've got like the 11th easiest schedule.
Yeah, well, we had the toughest schedule like 2 of the last 3 years. We were like the top 3 or 4 like hardest schedules. So fuck everybody else giving us this easy schedule crap. And like we don't know who's gonna be good and bad now.
No, because I think it's based off mainly last year. I don't know how it works, but
yeah, of teams that have a lot of people that have moved around on them.
But right, talking of social media, we'd like to touch on the Premier League. You didn't know, or you did know about this eventually, but you didn't know they had a social media blackout.
I participated actually.
Did you though?
when I was asleep. I was not tweeting in my sleep.
Oh, if it was like you was gonna make a joke of like I only tweeted when I was blackout drunk.
Well, no, I drink responsibly, but maybe that should have been. We'll do a Twitter blackout next time, like that.
Just
I'm planning one of those
like
this weekend.
random shit. But so obviously that was all to do with stopping online abuse of players and things like that, and their whole thing was obviously they're trying to, okay, if we're not going to tweet anymore, then there's going to be less people on Twitter, and hopefully social media networks or whatever are going to take charge of the online trolls. The only reason because I don't think there's much to talk about on this, but the one thing I did want to talk about is that there has been talk of how can social media platforms kind of help with this, and one of the things is obviously removing the anonymity, that word, by forcing people to register essentially their accounts with their IDs. What do you think of it? Like, would you feel comfortable saying to Twitter, "Here's my driver's license. I am Alex Middleton"?
I mean, if you think about like the security questions that it could open for like all this other stuff, like anybody could then just have your access to your driver's license if they were able to like somehow get into that system. I don't know. I think I feel like it's the internet, man. Yeah, is that a problem to an extent? But like, there's also a mute button, a block button. There's all kinds of buttons. Like you can filter words you don't want to hear, you don't want to see. There's like ways to set that up, and I think a lot of times it's people that are just trying to make sure that people don't exist. And I'm not saying there's not like terrible, horrible people that believe in terrible, fucked up shit online, but like, I mean, unless you like, are they not allowed to use the internet? Is that the rule?
Well, it just wouldn't be unless they wanted to show who they really are, they wouldn't be able to use social media.
Sometimes I feel like a troll account's nice every now and then. I mean, like not like the hate troll accounts, but like sometimes a good troll account like stirs shit up, and you need that. I think you need that in society. Everybody can't be yelling the same thing in the same little echo chamber that they think they're in.
Like this guy, like Gen Z
posting
Zach
that
is a good.
Gives him now he gets the fulfillment that you posted it. You're not supposed to do that.
I know he posted this a while ago, but Gen Z Zach, he's a good troll account.
He is pretty good. He is pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. I really feel like sometimes people like consider stuff as like harassment or like hate speech and stuff when it's just like, hey man, like I was just critiquing what you were doing. Like I get like obviously slurs and like call like other stuff like that, but it's like, man, that was a dumb play. Like you can't be mad about that. I don't think.
Oh no, yeah, no, that's fine. But
I'd be like if Arlo White like came back at us, but wasn't saying like we were hate speech or anything. You know, like Arlo White like called us out and said we weren't as educated as him, which we're not. Like I mean, he did call us two of the greatest brains of football of our time or whatever it was. But two great football brains
of our time.
I mean, his words, not ours. But that would have been like if he then turned to that around and tried to make like that was hate speech towards him. And Arlo isn't that guy. He's not that guy. So I mean, he's against racism. We know that, but like he's also not like trying to just cancel anybody that talks shit to him on Twitter. And like props to him for like actually engaging with us and instead of just like complaining that people were saying shit about him. You know, I think that. Like there's people that just like, well, if you disagree with me, you're not allowed to say it. And it's like, okay, you can turn the comments off on Instagram. You know, you can turn comments off, I think, on Facebook posts. You can do all kinds of stuff. Like if you're having an issue with hate speech, then it's like you can avoid it. But like I think that you shouldn't be able to censor all speech and shit like that. Like I don't know where the line is, you know?
I just think my main problem
like racial slurs, yeah, like there's not really a place for that. There shouldn't be a place for that. But like I mean, you just cancel people that say that stuff. But then it's like sometimes it's like an opinion that people have that I don't necessarily know if or is not right or wrong. And then it's like it gets taken down and it's like, I don't know if that was hate speech, but I guess Twitter has the right to do whatever the fuck they want. I just don't think that they should be forced to do it. I don't think anybody should force a company to do something unless what they're doing is like a human rights violation. And trolling is not a human rights violation.
Well,
And we have fucking kids in cages. Let's worry about that instead of Twitter.
This is where you took that way. What I'm about to say just sounds nothingly. Whatever. The kids in cages. Get the kids out cages.
That was the first thing that just came to my mind. I don't know.
I'm not trying to get on a political high horse,
but like I always feel like when there's like when we talk about like foreign aid to countries and stuff, I'm like, what about us? What about us? What about us? What about our country right now? Like, why don't we fix us first? And then we'll go do other shit with that stuff. And now it's like with the social media stuff. It's like, is that really our biggest problem? Probably not.
Right. Here's what I'm going to say. Because I think where my thing stems from is that they're saying the whole idea of it is to stop people being anonymous on social media. And
that mask is cool.
When people are like, oh, but what if I don't want to prove my ID? Blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to use Twitter. It's like, there's a part of me, because you were there as well. We were in the world before social media. And it's kind of like, Twitter isn't a human right? Like, if you don't want to use Twitter, don't use Twitter. Like, stop bitching.
I 100% agree. Like when you say shit that then gets in trouble, it's like you can be frustrated with it, but it's like that's their thing, you know. Like I've posted memes before that have gotten taken down on Facebook, and it's like yeah, I guess like it was like a hot dog, or it was like a hot dog instead of a ball gag or whatever. You're biting into like a hamburger instead of a ball gag, and it was like when you're kinky but also a fat ass, and it was like inappropriate sexual whatever. And I was like, oh, I guess they thought it was like a sex toy I was posting up there. But like I disputed it. They didn't like let me use my account for a couple of days or whatever. And I was like, I don't agree with it being taken down, but like it's their site. Was it annoying? Yes. I was like, that's also Facebook. If it was alex.com, I could do whatever the fuck I wanted.
Yeah, that's the bad thing about
I would censor every cowboy post.
Facebook and Twitter becoming so huge is that people think it's like a public service. At this point, no, it's still Mark Zuckerberg's website. If he doesn't want you on his website, you can't be on his website. It's how it works. Like,
and didn't we just have like a whole like movement and like pushback from all these people and all this stuff about like how much information social networks are tracking on you? And it's like, well, we also think that you should give them your ID and all of your information, so they can't track you for sure.
Well, same. I mean, I'm maybe
that's kind of the same thing. You're going.
Yeah, no. I get it, but I'm
not you particularly. But it's like I don't really. You know, it's like they have the right to do whatever they want to do. You know.
But yeah, my point is, if you don't want to give them that information, then you don't have to. Fuck off.
Yeah, go make your own thing.
Because like the whole like, oh, can you believe Facebook is taking our data and doing X, Y, and Z with it? Well, you gave it to him. Don't give it to him then.
Well, what was that? What was that app that they made that were like when like Trump got taken down? And I promise I'm not trying to be political, but like whatever it was that all the I'm conservative. I'm going to go to this instead. And then it was like, okay, cool, whatever. They can say whatever stuff they want to say. If the Nazis want to go to that, they can have their little Nazi chat rooms or whatever. I'm not saying everybody on the right is a Nazi, but like if a Nazi goes over there with his Nazi friends that I don't agree with their beliefs and shit, like they can have their little Nazi chat rooms, but then people go over there and like it's like they create the account on a page that they know is leaning one way more so, and then they're like, can you believe what they're saying on this? And it's like, yeah, man.
What did you expect?
Like that's what you went there. You made the account. Don't make the account. Parlor is what it is. Adrian knows.
Thanks, Adrian.
Like, I never had a Parlor account, but like I also didn't make one and then go on it and get mad.
Yeah, it's like I am a self-proclaimed. I am a liberal snowflake, and for that, I know that probably most things they say on Fox News is probably going to annoy me. So guess what? I don't watch Fox News.
But there's people that watch it and just bitch about it all day. And that's what fascinates me. Like you're choosing like to
annoy
be
yourself.
upset. And I'm guilty of that with like random little shit. Like I'll choose to have an Xbox that's running slow ruin my day and shit like that. But like I don't just willingly like watch shit and then be like, fuck this, I hate it. And then like tell the rest of the world how much I hate it. Unless it's like a weird show, I'm trying to do that. You have your wife to thank for that one. Oh, she knew about Parlor. Yeah, I just never
Thanks,
had
Mrs.
Parlor,
Valdez.
but still. I don't know, just getting like when you choose to go on an account and on a site and then get mad that other people that also did the same thing as you did have different opinions with you, whether or not there's just right or wrong. Like it's weird that then you're like, well, I can't believe the thing I made. Like, yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I could go in circles talking about that. I feel like.
Yeah, where people.
So I get what they were trying to like say. Sort of. I understand sort of like what their stance should have been, like what their stance was trying to be. I guess the teams were, but then like also the Man City or the Man United and Liverpool game got like that riot that broke out, and like when you had enacted the social media silence thing, and like that's a lot of people that weren't able to like cover that, and I felt like there was a lot of information that wasn't being put out.
Yeah, I think social media platforms could do more. Like, just there are obviously, like I say, some opinions that you don't agree with. But hey, that's their opinion. You can have it. But a lot of things where they posted videos, I think like Ian Wright and Alan Shearer, who are Premier League legends. You might not know because you're late to the party. You know Ian Wright and Alan Shearer.
I thought Alan Shearer was a barber.
No, he has no hair. Ironically,
ironic. Yeah,
but
fascinating.
Ian Wright was showing Alan Shearer some of the messages he gets on social media, and obviously a lot of them featured like naughty words towards the black community. But even to the point of like
that's not cool.
But so surely social media platforms can at least put in, because there's no context really that you should use those kind of terms. Really.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty safe with saying that those words should not be allowed.
So can't they at least put something in place where, hey, if you either mention or DM someone and you call them the N-word, your account's done. Like,
but yeah, then they report you for it. And like, but then it's like, well, where's the line? Where's the line start? Where's the line crossed? Then it's like, well, like, can you say a lot of these words out in public? Probably you can say most words out in public, but if it's one of those you can't say out in public, then don't. Like, you know.
Yeah,
like there's a couple. Like there's an F word that I'm thinking of. You probably shouldn't be able to say. You know, like if we're banning words, like that's just like a hot button to like they'll go evaluate it. Then most likely like you'll get suspended, then banned or whatever. But like I don't understand the people that just like I'm gonna go just be call people racial slurs on like a DM. That's weird as shit. Like just chill out, man. Like just move on. But yeah, like I don't know how it's gonna be policed. That's not my job. I don't send those kinds of things, but I don't know how they're gonna handle other people doing that stuff.
I wasn't accusing you of anything, mate.
No, I just like I don't know. I'm just confused at like how they're going to handle that in any case. It's just such like a big task to take, you know.
My only thing is that if I'm gonna send my photo ID, I want a goddamn tick next to my name. That's all I want.
Right, because then everybody should be verified.
Because you got a tick, right, on Twitter?
On Instagram.
Oh, on Instagram, not on Twitter. Oh, but I think Instagram's a lot easier, right? You can just send.
I think so.
Did you?
I had somebody do it for me.
Look at you!
They wouldn't do Twitter for me.
I got one of my people to do it.
Well, it's from like work. I work in media, so it was a little bit. I'm not bragging. It was like a little bit of like a head start.
Wow.
We'll get there one day, buddy.
We'll get there. I'll get my tick, or we'll get my tick. Even just C&BB Pod at C&BB Pod on Twitter.
Your blue check, and then we can judge people and seem like we can stick our noses up at people and be like, haha, well, as a blue check mark, my opinion matters most.
So that's where you can be trollish. Because like, oh, sorry, have you got a tick? Nope.
If you haven't vaccinated, ... And then whatever our crazy opinion is, we can say.
You can say whatever you want when you got a tick.
Yeah.
That's how the rules
pretty
work.
Much. Unless you're Trump. Moving on, though.
Moving on.
Social media talk.
So, West Ham played Burnley yesterday, right?
Fraud West Ham, as I like to call them. Those are our jerseys. Don't do that. I don't like it. It irritates me whenever our Aston Villa or Burnley wear our colors. And I don't know who had them first, but it's ours. They're ours. All right. I don't want, and if it wasn't us, I don't want to know because they're ours.
Well, the story goes. So yeah, I'm not gonna tell you the bad news. But the story goes apparently. So Aston Villa obviously played in claret and blue, and at the time, back in the day, Thames Ironworks and played in royal blue. But apparently the story goes something like the owner of West Ham or the head of West Ham and the head of Aston Villa apparently had like a race, and the West Ham guy won, and so we earned the right to wear claret and blue. Not that I believe that story, because if that was...
I believe it now.
Well, no, because if that
Villa
was the story,
dude.
why are Villa still wearing claret and blue?
Well, because I think they're a bunch of candy asses that don't honor deals.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense to me. They do sign Jack Grealish. He's kind of a fraud-ass bitch.
Just a quick question. So, obviously, in the chat room, we've got Adrian Valdez. But just hit us up. Let us know. Are you Adrian, like Rocky's wife, or are you Adrian, like the ex West Ham goalkeeper? Let us know. Adrian. Are you going to go with Adrian?
He is Adrian. I've hung out with Adrian. He comes to the bar to watch games with Bayou Ironworks sometimes.
Oh, okay. Well, that ended.
Loyal Rod Ryan show listener as well.
Oh, he's a keeper.
Oh shit!
Adrian.
I just call you Adrian.
Oh,
he's never corrected me then.
Alex is just a bad friend.
I guess so.
But we played Burnley.
Adrian.
See, now you're gonna have to.
I'm just rolling the R now.
Yeah, do it. Roll
it's
it.
Gonna get worse.
Adrian. See, we've just now made the next time you meet Adrian way more fun, because now you're gonna. Maybe we could have a T-shirt with several R's on.
Just ADR all the way down. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
Nice. So Burnley, we beat them 2-1. Thoughts? Go.
Would have liked some more goals, but was pretty impressed overall with kind of how we played. I was really happy with Lanzini covering in for Noble. Was there an injury that Noble had? Like, they didn't use social media, so I didn't know the lineups really. But
I mean, if I had to guess, I think the way Moisey was speaking pre-game, I think he was just like, "Fuck it, let's just go for it." And I don't think Noble was an attacking, he's more of a...
I love Nobes. We've mentioned this a bunch of times. Just he's not a full game kind of guy, and when he hits that wall, he hits that wall hard, and it is a noticeable difference in play. Can he go out there and still hang with some of the best? Yeah, but like he just can't do it for a super extended period of time. And like Lanzini looked super impressive out there, and I feel like how can you justify not starting Lanzini again this weekend or on Sunday?
The first, obviously, he had the career highlight against Tottenham with that amazing goal, but I think that was probably the best I've seen Lanzini in a couple of years.
And then he did have that shot. Good. He had that shot that got blocked. I didn't mean to interrupt, but he had that shot that got blocked that I thought it was like right. It was the same shot as the Tottenham shot. And I was like, oh, is he about to do the, and it just didn't work. But yeah, he was running around that field. He was fucking, I loved watching him in that mid position right there.
I think realistically, going forward, I mean, not to overshadow this game or overlook this game, but I think this is where we need to go moving forward. Like, I was super pumped when I saw the lineup and we had a front five. Like, when was the last time West Ham had a front five? Like, that's ridiculous. Because we pretty much played with the back four and then Souček in the middle. And then up front, we had Lanzini, Benrahma, Lingard, Antonio, Fornals. Like,
yeah,
Jesus
and Lingard and Fornals looked Ben Rahman for now has looked really good. Lingard, I feel like he got kind of like silenced a little bit with that change up. But like it's like I don't really like if Lingard doesn't have to do everything, I'm cool with that because there's not as much of a target on that, and that's going to open him up for a couple of games from now where he's going to have a hat trick again, and just he's going to go off when it's his day. But Antonio, that was a perfect formation for Antonio to be in. He should have had like 4 goals. I was rooting for him so hard to have him back in there, and just he's such a game changer when he's back in those games. I think he's had like 17 goal scoring like involvements in goals, whether it be assists or goals themselves in like the 19 games he's played.
I did feel bad though because when he scored his second goal, that I was like, oh, that could have been Benny's first goal. Like, Antonio got the slightest of touch. I think that'd have gone in without him, but whatever, I'll take it.
I don't know. I'm always cool with like, yeah, take that insurance and just make sure that it gets buried in the net. Like, if there's a question on it, let's just put it in the back for me. That's cool.
But this is a game that I think stats. Normally say, hey, stats don't lie. I think stats did lie in this game because I think
they just didn't tell the whole tale. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, because we had
talking heads. Stats don't tell the tale.
We had 22 shots, only 4 on target. But how many of those shots went like just barely over or just barely wide? Like, we was very, very close to scoring a good 6 goals.
It could have been a 6-1 game, honestly. And I mean, it could. I thought they had a couple opportunities that Fabianski made some pretty solid saves in. Just Dawson looked great. Diop looked good out there. Like everybody, like when they gave up that goal, there was a little bit of a hesitancy where it kind of was like, "Oh God, are we gonna do this again? Like, are we gonna just fall out and struggle? And is this gonna be where the wheels fall off this season?" And then right down the field, we come back and we got the goal, and then we tied it up. We come back, we take the lead before the half, and yeah, like it would have been nice to add some more to it, but we didn't concede right before half, which I felt like we were going to do at one point. And then we just kept moving on, and I was happy with the way that they were able to hang in there. I think that says a lot about the way the defense was able to step up. And we're forgetting that like we don't have Rice in our lineup, so like that's a huge like our best player is not on the pitch, and to be winning games. I know that it wasn't it wasn't Man United or anybody, but it felt good to get back into the win column after having 2 straight losses.
I mean, Burnley aren't shit. Like last game they beat Wolves 4-0. So
Touché.
It's not like it was like a slam dunk. We should have beat them ridiculously, but. Yeah, I thought it was a good performance, and I think I've said it before, maybe several times, but what I do like about this current West Ham side is that it's before when we'd go 1-0 down, we would just kind of like cry about it and fold like a deck of cards, whereas this was kind of like, oh, don't worry, whatever, they scored a penalty, whatever, stick to the game plan, and then we went straight up the other end and scored a goal. Like, it's very almost regimented to how we're like, nope, just keep doing what we're supposed to be doing and we're going to win.
It was almost like they got fired up because of that. They're like, we cannot fall into like the kind of the hole that we've been in the past. And it seemed like that like gave them a little bit of like fire under their ass to come back because it was pretty immediate. It felt like, can we circle back to the penalty? Like, what did you like? They all the announcers said that they thought it was a penalty. I get why it was awarded, but like that was I don't know. I didn't really think that Souček went out of his way to do that. It was like he was falling away from it. Like, yeah, I guess you could award a penalty, but it seemed kind of iffy.
I think it was one of those very close ones where the penalty was given. The penalty was given, so I was going, yeah, okay, that's a penalty. But I think if it wasn't given, I would have been like, yeah, that shouldn't have been a penalty. Like, it was so on the edge. Was that either way? I would have probably was whatever. So it was a bit harsh, but I could see why it was given.
If it was West Ham, I would have wanted them to get the penalty. So
exactly,
I get it.
But one question: I was very, very, very impressed with the style of football. Not only that, like the amount of times where I'd see players pick up the ball, and there's a lot of one-touch football, which was nice. But like Ben Rama, doing like a little dance over the ball and then just taking it away and leaving the Burnley player behind him. I think Lanzini did that a couple of times. Like, it was very a stylish performance by West Ham.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
They had so much of that control in the game too, and it's just like anytime your team has most of the possession and it feels like they're dominating, it's on the other half of the field. Like that's always more entertaining, especially if it comes away with a win, obviously. But it was just like I wasn't like super nervous except for like about a 15-minute period, and then it was like when they get down there at one point, you're kind of nervous. But I don't know. I think that we held it together really well.
Yeah, it was nice to have like definitely there was like I say nervous moments, but even towards the end, I wasn't. Whereas previous games this season, where I text you and it was like the last 20 minutes, I've just having like anxiety attacks because oh my god, we're gonna. Whereas this was kind of like the little worry moments, but other than that, it was kind of like chill just to wait to the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
We got this, which is very nice.
They do make us sweat out all those wins. Like it would have been nice to have that insurance goal there in the second half, but if us sweating it out means we're still going to win, I'm cool with that.
To a previous point you made, I was very much expecting, once it got to 90 minutes, I was expecting the guys to hold up the ball for like 12 minutes, add it on. I was like, fuck you.
Right. And then what did we get, 4?
I think it was 3. So I was like, oh, I'll let him off.
And then we wasted a good minute and a half of it. We wasted some serious time, but whatever.
That's what you got to do. What do you got to do? Last thing on the game, well, not in this game, but as we're moving towards Everton this weekend, which is a huge game, because like I said, I said to you the other day, I think, obviously we're aiming for Champions League, we're going to get into that in a second, but I think if we want to play in any kind of Europe, I think this Sunday's game, I think it's Sunday against Everton?
Sunday, 10th, or it's 11:30 your time, 10:30 mine.
I think this is it's not a make or break game, but I think if we beat Everton this Sunday, then that's it, secured Europe, boom.
I mean, yeah, we would have to really have a collapse. We'd be at 50.
We're at 58 points. 58 points we are.
Well, we'd be at 61.
Oh, if we won, yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty solid. I just don't. I think Tottenham's like right within striking distance, so a lot could still happen with that. But yeah, like Europe for sure it seems definitely within reach because 7 teams go to Europe this year.
It's gonna be 7, yeah. Because
so,
of
like, is there a way like because Leicester play? Is the FA Cup over already?
That's Leicester
City
versus Chelsea. Leicester versus Chelsea's the FA Cup finals coming up in a couple of weeks.
What did City? Carabao is what
they won
City
the league.
That doesn't do
Cup.
it, right?
The EFL Cup winner goes to the Europa League. So because Man City are going to be in the Champions League next year, so that's why the Europa League goes from 5th to 6th,
and then if like
FA Cup winner who's already in Europe through their league position, that's where it jumps down to 7th in the league. So it's pretty much guaranteed at 7.
What if Leicester wins? Like, see, I'm just trying to say, like, if I cover all my bases, Leicester wins the FA Cup.
Yep.
And then Chelsea wins the Champions League. Then what? Does it 8?
No. So it would just mean one less team would go to Europa League. Let's just say Chelsea finished 5th and West Ham finished 4th. But then Chelsea win the Champions League, so they enter the Champions League because they're defending champions. That would mean that the top 5 in the Premier League would go to the Champions League, but then there'd only be 2 teams from Europe in the Europa League. They'd get one less Europa League spot.
Okay.
So the only way I was actually looking at this the other day. Like the only way that we could be screwed royally is if we finished 4th. But not make the Champions League. The only way for that to happen is for Arsenal to win the Europa League. If Arsenal win the Europa League and they finish outside the top 7, which they're probably going to, then they would go into the Champions League. So the 4th place team would lose out. But then the 4th place team would only lose out if I see all these
variations.
If Chelsea would need to win the Champions League for that to happen as well. I think it's very, but Arsenal aren't going to win the Europa League. They're going to lose to Villarreal, and even if they win, even if they beat them, Man United are going to beat them in the final. Like Arsenal,
I hope so, because that's like really like all Arsenal has to play for, though. And I would assume they're going to put all their eggs in that basket.
They need to, because if they don't win that, they are 100% not getting Europe this year, because they're not going to finish in top 7 at all.
We'll have to do the Super League all over again.
But so I'm going to get into the permutations of our top 4 finish. But real quick, let's just say, so I don't know the timeline yet, but apparently it's going to be back sooner than we expect. But let's just say Declan Rice is fit, ready to go 100%. After what we saw against Burnley, do you put Declan Rice straight back into the starting 11? Or do you maybe put him on the bench and start the same team?
Bench. You ride the hot hand, right?
Right. That's why. Okay. That's why. Because I was thinking more of like a mental thing, because then we go into the Everton game like we are so confident that we are going to beat you. We have our best player on the bench.
And you also get that added motivation of like, if you need to, which you hopefully won't have to, you can be like, you know what? Like you can bring Deck on to be the hero and not have like the pressure of like your first start back. You better be 100%. You better do this. Like we can put him on the 60th, 70th minute and then, see how that goes. After Lanzini has the hat trick and we already have 3 now.
So you're going to go, you'd ride the hot hand, go with the exact same starting 11 against.
It's hard to argue against it. I'm just that kind of guy. Like, it's like, this is what's hot right now. Stay with it, Like, yeah, Declan's a better player if he's 100%, but I don't think he's going to be 100%, right? He's not going to be game fit.
The only thing I'm worried about going into the Everton game, and this is just me being the typical West Ham fan, like, something's going to go wrong eventually. Like, Everton have, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In their last 7 Premier League games, they've only won once. So on one hand, you'd be like, damn, they're ready for the taking. But also on the other hand, it's like,
they're due.
They're due a win. Is it going to be against us? But
we do have the habit of being that get right team for some people, and I don't like that.
So I guess let's merge the preview, I guess, with also to talk about us getting Champions League. So we've got Everton at home, and then Brighton, West Brom, and Southampton. Whereas Chelsea, who we need to get ahead of, got Man City, Arsenal, Leicester, and Aston Villa. So we need to score more, because their goal difference is way better than ours. We need to score 4 more points than them to qualify for the Champions League. And on paper, that looks incredibly easy. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Because they're going to lose against...
Chelsea's good.
Chelsea's good, but they've still got the Champions League to play for. They've got the FA Cup final to play for. So they've at least got another game to add into there. So they've got 6 games to play instead of our 4. You've got to think Man City are going to beat them.
I hope.
Arsenal aren't doing so hot. I mean, they're doing better now than they were at the beginning of the season. But that's a London derby, so you could easily see them losing, if not drawing that game.
Real shame if Arsenal came away with that.
No. Leicester are coming back again, so I could see them win. I would not be, and Villa aren't any slouches, but I could see Chelsea beating them on last game of the season. So I would not be shocked if out of all of their final 4 games, they only got maybe 4 points from those final 4.
I mean, really, just if we could just get 12 points out of our final 4, like that'd be sick. I don't think that's that much to ask, guys. Went out.
I wouldn't be shocked. I think realistically, we have to be looking for at least 10 out of those games. Like
I think so.
I would accept a draw against Everton, but I would think we need to beat West Brom, Southampton, and Brighton.
Which means we'll draw against one of those.
I think we'll draw against. If we are going to draw, I think we're going to draw against Everton. I don't think they beat us. I think worst case, it's going to be a draw. But I think if you're going to go on like win all 4 games, I think based on
Just
Chelsea's
win out.
Yeah, I think if based on Chelsea's final 4 games, plus, like I said, they've got the Champions League to contend for, the FA Cup final that's in the middle of that. I think if we were to win all 4 games, then that's Champions League check, guaranteed.
It's Europe for sure.
Oh yeah, Europe's guaranteed. Well, if we win the final 4, then the worst case we finish 5th. So
Yeah, so I'm cool with that.
which I accept that, but it's the troubling thing is it's scary. Like I almost like or feel more comfortable being the underdog in that. Oh well, for this to happen, we need this to happen. Blah, blah. And if it doesn't happen, well, we tried. Whereas again, even though we are 3 points behind Chelsea, I still think that Champions League is in our own hands because of their games.
A little bit, yeah, because of all the other stuff they have to worry about. It's just, yeah, man. I don't know. My biggest worry just from being a West Ham fan the last couple of years is like we always do go through that rough stretch, and I don't feel like there's been a significant rough stretch for us this year, and like. It would be the most West Ham thing ever to just fall apart with 4 games left. I don't think that happens, but it's like I've got that in the back of my head. I'm scared. Positive vibes only, though. Positive vibes only. I think we are, and I think we play like we did this past weekend, man. I think we play like a team with purpose. I think we play like a team that's on a mission to like fuck shit up. I think that they had that 2-game stumble, and I think that. A lot of them, they had to kind of get their heads back on right and be like, all right, well, where are we going to go? Are we really trying to play for Europe? Are we going to do this? Are we going to seem like a team that wants Jesse to stay? Like, what are we going to do? And especially this year, I was talking to one of my buddies from my West Ham watch group this morning, and I was saying, especially with this Super League shit, is it GSB?
Yep.
Like, GSB has, like, the perfect fucking opportunity to be like, you know what, guys? First off, we didn't join the Super League. We finished in the top 4, and we went to Europe, and we signed Jesse Lingard. We brought back we spent some money. Like their stock is at an all-time high, maybe right now, since probably when they bought the club, and there was the optimism of like what could happen with new owners. It was at about as low as I've ever seen people with owners. Now I think they've definitely gone back up again. That getting the Lingard loan and everything. Hopefully they bring him over, and it's like just this is your opportunity in an offseason to like we make Europe. Hey, let's go build us a squad, bro. Like let's build us some depth. Let's add some more people. This would be the time for GSB to go out, spend a fuckload of money. I don't know if they will, but like. We're a fucking team with a big dick in the Premier League now. Like we are going to be a Leicester where we weren't a traditional team that's always up at the top, but from now on, like we're going to be a team to be reckoned with. A Tottenham where they weren't really ever really like they were a shitty team. I still fuck Tottenham, but like they're relevant now. Like I want to be a relevant team every year.
Talking of adding new players, have you heard the rumor? I mean, it might not be a rumor.
Chelsea?
It might be a fact, but was it you talking about Tammy Abraham?
Tammy Abraham, yeah.
No, well, that is a rumor, but another rumor. See, I don't know whether this is actual fact. Maybe I've missed something, but apparently the rumor is that Mr. Zabaleta, who used to play for West Ham after having an extensive career at Manchester City, rumor has it he has had a word in Mr. Aguero's ear and said, "Hey, you've announced you're leaving Man City this at the end of this year. I think you should go to West Ham."
I had fun at my time in East London. You might have fun also.
Like, he is very much... saying Aguero is past his prime sounds like an insult, but it's not, because Aguero's prime was like... So the fact he's
good,
past his prime, it's still a good strike. If we could get... I mean, I think his contract would be maybe an issue with how much money he'd want. But...
spend it.
Hypothetically, I think he's like, okay, he's seen the writing on the wall. My time at Man City is over because now I'm being replaced. If he looks like, oh, I could go to West Ham. Ooh, they're in Champions League. I would do that. And that would be, I think... if we could get him for maybe 2 years, like at least having that backup of like, hey, Antonio, if we can't play Antonio, we could at least rotate, because I think both of those are not like Antonio. I don't think Antonio's. We're not going to get a full 38 games out of Antonio next
Never.
year. It's not going to happen. So I think if we could have them on the understanding of 1 week, Aguero's going to start next week. Maybe not 1 for 1, but you know what I mean. That whole used two are going to rotate. Used two are going to be the main striker of our team. We're going to keep shuffling you in and out, and we can keep them both healthy and happy. I think we could we could fuck some shit up.
That'd be pretty cool if Aguero came in. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I mean, this is the time. Hey, GSB, let's use this next transfer period to be like, hey guys, look, we do want to win some games. So we didn't go Super League. We also put together some money where we're going to buy some guys and improve the team that's already good.
But now we're knocking on the window. I think now would be the good time to almost flash the potential cash. So you could go to a player like Aguero, who's, again, not at his prime, but still pretty good. Let's just say, worst case scenario, we finish 5th this year and we're in the Europa League. David Gold and David Sullivan, whatever, they could go to him and say, all right, we know you want X amount per week, but we think we could give you this much, a little bit lower. However, if you help us get to the Champions League next year, we'll give you a bonus of X amount of million, because you get like 30 to 60 million from. So, hey, you want 10 million bonus? Fucking work your ass off and get us in the Champions League next year.
Yeah, let's try that.
Like his ass on.
Just spend some money, guys.
That would be pretty cool. So, I mean, Everton. Let's wrap this up. If I'm correct, I keep losing. I should write this. I write it down, but then I just move it over there and then it vanishes. I believe, if I'm correct, did you predict 2-1 against Burnley, or was it 3-1?
I don't remember. I don't even remember.
And I'm not looking back at our.
I think it was 3-1.
I think you said, and I think I said 2-0. So I think we were both wrong, but we were both pretty close. I think if you combine our minds, we are greatest.
Probably averaged out to be the right score.
We would be the greatest football brains.
Well, that's just a fact.
Time. This is a fact. So Everton, we are away, but I don't think it really matters that much. Now there's no fans. But Everton, what are you thinking?
I think it's like 2-1.
To
that.
To the Hammers?
2-1 to the Hammers. I'm riding the Hammers, dude. We're hot. We're hot right now. 12 points. Finish the season. Let's do it.
We're due a clean sheet, I think.
We're due one as well, yeah.
I'm going to go 2-0 West Ham. 2-0 West Ham. We're going to win, and then that'll be Europe confirmed, and then hopefully they haven't officially rescheduled Liverpool Man United, have they?
No, they have to though, right?
Well, they have to. So hopefully, if they lose, and then we want Tottenham to lose, and everyone else to
always
lose, it'll be good stuff. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Go Sam Houston State. Sam Houston State, big win against North Dakota State. We are 1 win away from a national championship this weekend. Saturday on ABC. Tune in. Sam Houston State Bearcats against James Madison.
Also, go to merch.cbbpod. Merch.cbbpod.com.
Look at us on brand. Brand today. This is new in the store.
Yeah, that's so new. Alex had that shirt before I even put it on the store. It was pretty sick.
It's more of a moved over new, but still. If you don't have it, you can get one. Adrian was asking about one today.
Did you buy it yet? You didn't. I know you didn't.
Merch.cbbpod.com.
Merch.cbbpod.com. Follow us all at everything. You can go at cbbpod on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, cbbpod.com for any of the links. I'm Mr. Mike Fish. He's Mr. Oh, no, he's not. He's just at Alex J. Middleton. Real quick, before we end the show, tomorrow, obviously, Past the Gravy, new episode coming out. What are you going to do now? You can't do any your mock draft picks.
Mock draft season's over.
Yeah.
I did win that, but we do got a fun-filled show. We're going to talk about brunch. Brunch is back. Pretty stoked about brunch. I learned about Bellinis this weekend. Had some Bellinis at brunch. Pretty great stuff.
I know of them. What is a Bellini, though?
It's like a peach vodka drink, and that was what we used instead of mimosas. And my family had 6 pitchers. It was pretty great. So yeah, good stuff. Brunch talk. We're also going to talk about Aaron Rodgers wanting out allegedly. Pat will be very upset. We'll talk about that. Draft grades. We're going to give some more draft grades. All kinds of fun stuff. Tune in, Pass Your A podcast, free wherever you listen to podcasts.
Absolutely.
We're going to answer questions too. At Pass Your A Pod.
Make sure you follow them at Pass the Gravy Pod on your social medias. But that wraps it up for another week. Next week, we're obviously going to be talking about Everton losing to West Ham and then whatever other crazy shit happens on social media. I'm sure we'll touch on there. Big thing.
Seahorses forever.
Seahorses forever. And until next week, see you next Tuesday.